Welcome back to the Meeple Marathon and our continued coverage of the Lost Ruins of Arnak Expedition Leaders Expansion. So this is another reboxing video for Lost Ruins of Arnak. I had previously posted one that covered how I was storing just the base game, but since acquiring the expansion, I wanted to get it all back into just the base box and then store away the expansion box. So I was successful, so let's take a look at the changes that I've had to implement. But I feel like what we've got here in the end is pretty good. All right, so here's the rule book on top and the expansion rule book. Thankfully, they made it so that it fit this way. It always bothered me that the player boards didn't fit this way, but this just kind of helps fill in this gap right there. But anyways, what you see on top here is a lot of the player boards. There are 5 of the expansion player boards right here. These are the smaller ones, and then there's the Mystic player board that's sitting right here. And essentially they're sitting on top of the 2 token containers that I have in the game. And then all of my cards are in 2 standard size deck boxes right here, split up. I believe I have all of the tools and fear cards in one, and all of the artifacts and then starting cards in the other. But let's take a look as we continue to move down here. So the player boards are all sitting on top beneath these, and so you could technically have flipped this around like this. It doesn't really matter. Are your score pad and all of the player reference sheets. And then underneath here you see the 2 token trays, which essentially have replaced this big one here. So this big one here was taking up a lot of room in the box. There was a lot of space, empty space for extra tokens and things like that. But in the end, I feel like having this set up works a lot better. So what we have in this one, and this is a 4x6 photo keeper. You can easily find these at your craft store, probably at your Walmarts and Targets. Is this a 4x6 or is this a 5x7? This is a 5x7. I'm pretty sure. I'll double check and I'll put a link in the description below. But basically, a lot of my size tiles that were a little bit too big to fit in this size Plano box here are in here. So we're talking the solo tiles, the assistant tiles, the campsite tiles, the unique tiles, the first player marker, the luggage marker, these things. It's just kind of a hodgepodge of cardboard in this one, but since it's nice and big and open, they all just kind of sit in there. You're gonna have to pull out most of these to play the game anyways, so it's not something you're gonna have set off to the side. Then in this one, and this is a Plano 3400 series, and it's the one with the adjustable compartments, so you can either have 6 elongated ones or 12, and I have put in 5 of the 6 dividers here and left the last one open. So you can see here that I've got all my meeples plus their tokens in here. This thing is just perfect that these little archaeologist meeples can stand up and the lid's still closed. Then in the front here I have all the stuff that I'm going to want to grab throughout the game, and these wells are still big enough to easily pull this stuff out and drop it back in. And so yeah, that's why these are all in the front. And then in the back, you have your idle tokens and these scoring tokens. I took the triple up tokens and the starting wave tokens that you need to cover up the board a lot in solo play, just because it was silly that these had their own spot. And then we've got the 11 and 6 temple tiles and all the 2s. So basically just about everything that was small in size from that original storage compartment. Alright, so we do have some baggies, unfortunately. Originally I had these in something like this, which would still fit. But the problem is that you wouldn't get these in there. So I may or may not go back to doing this like this. I always had to pull them out of here, shuffle them up, and then stick them back in. So I figured having them in baggies wouldn't be that bad, and it's reducing the weight of the overall game. But if it's something you really wanted to do, they would still fit. But basically I have my level 1 site tiles, my level 2 site tiles, and then all of the Guardian tiles here, which there's an extensive number of them now. It's quite a large stack with the expansion. But the way I have oriented my deck boxes here and then tucked these alongside, I don't feel like they are going to slip and slide much. This box is not one that you can easily store on its side just by its nature. It's kind of that coffin style box. So it's going to go on your shelf laying flat like this. So I don't think these are going to divide or shift around much. And then underneath here, what was another nice thing, I don't know if they did this on purpose or not, but similar to how the expansion rulebook fits across the width-wise of the box. Here is the, your resource tile that goes underneath the board. This is the one that I traditionally don't even bother putting out because I keep all my resources in the compartment, and the only thing I need to do is then create a spot for for these tiles and a spot off to the side for my assistants. But this, so the main board is on the bottom here. This and this sit nicely next to each other across the box lengthwise. So that creates a nice level surface to then essentially just get everything back in here. So let me show you one more time how we went about getting everything back in. The only really tricky part was, putting one deck box in this way, one deck box in that way, and these will tuck in right there. And then you can kind of stack these up. Those fit in right there. These fit in right here, or I guess you could stick them right there if you were concerned about the Guardian tiles floating around. And then this is shorter than this, so you want to make sure you take the thicker stack, which is the expansion, smaller expansion boards, and stick them on top of your photo keeper, and then on top of your Plano box, you're going to put all the original player boards plus the Mystic board, and your player aids, your score pad, all that kind of stuff. You could even stick your score pad down here if you wanted to. There you go. But otherwise, then just because this spot is a little bit lower, it's a nice spot to put your expansion, and then of course the giant rule book, which I was reviewing today, and I understand that they're like, we've got the space to make this giant rule book, and the rule book is super nice that there's a lot of visuals in it. But again, I do not understand why they made the rulebook so freaking big. Anyways, it all fits in the box. There's no lid lift or anything like that. Stuff is pretty much going to stay put. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's Reboxing Lost Ruins of Arnak with the Expedition Leaders expansion. It all fits in the box. I'll put links in the description below for the Plano box I got from Walmart, the photo keeper I got from Michael's, the deck boxes I got from, I believe, Miniature Market. All that stuff you can easily find. All of it's super cheap. We're talking like less than $10 to get all of your stuff stored away. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And again, one last request for if you have a specific leader who you'd like to see in a playthrough, please let me know in the comment section below. Once again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.